What seems harmless but is incredibly dangerous. A human bite. I worked at a kindergarten and one kid was sometimes super sweet but sometimes really mean. He could switch in a second. While I was naming the coloring pages they were about to get, he walked up to me and bit me in the arm. Didn't think it was through, 'cause no blood. But it started swelling and getting red and the marks were clearly there. Went to the doc right after my shift. He explained a human bite is the second most dangerous bite there is. Got antibiotics but they didn't work. Arm just kept swelling and getting completely dark purple over 2 days. Doctor sent me to the hospital where I got strong antibiotics. Basically everything in me was cleaned with that shit, felt weak for months. If it didn't start working by that night is have to come back and be hospitalized to get my underarm removed. I've shat some bricks there. Never thought a kid's bite could cause this. Luckily the swelling got less and the bruise stopped spreading so I still have my arm, but that was very close. Edit, for the people who asked me if I punished the kid, his parents did that for me. My co-worker reported the incident to the parents and it was one of his last days there as they were moving. This was planned before he bit me. His parents were really sorry and a few days later when I worked again, it was the last time I'd see him and the parents brought him towards me because they wanted him to apologize. My arm was still fairly swollen and purple at that point and he was absolutely shocked that he had been the cause of that. He apologized with tears in his eyes and actually hugged me. He promised me never to bite anyone again. Apparently he had bitten his family and even other children before. So far no one had gotten an infection apart from me, and I really think he meant that. Still had a good day with him, but was still pretty mad as I was scared my antibiotics stopped working or something, but now that I think back on him he's not a bad kid, just a troubled mind that didn't get the right treatment. But a scare not the less. Oceanside cliff blowholes. People think they're so much fun to stand around and play with. You fall into one of those things, you aren't getting out. The waves will just bludgeon you against the rocks until you die or you're lucky enough to drown first. I live on the Oregon coast and that happened to a young man years ago in a town that's about 40 minutes from me. He jumped over the cement wall boundary at a lookout spot and was standing on rocks where the ocean was very active that day and water was hitting rocks and spraying all over. There was a hole right by him and the water came up and hit him, knocked him down and took him down the hole out into the ocean. There wasn't anything anyone could do. I can't imagine dying that way. What he must have gone through. Wow. Having a loose animal in the car. A safety instructor once told me doctors had to dig dog bones out of a person after it got between them and an airbag. Same with unrestrained people. They become projectiles. Story of a car full of adults. No seat belts. With a child/baby properly strapped in the back seat. Got into a major accident. Baby was killed due to the unrestrained adult being tossed around in the car, therefore crushing and impacting the baby. Might have been an older driver's ed scare tactic story, but it seems feasible. Kids picking flowers in the park. I am a conservation technician for a county park system. At least once a year I have to stop parents with kids picking flowers off the trail because I see kids with either poison hemlock, one of the deadliest plants if ingesting even a tiny amount, or wild parsnip, which can cause some serious permanent scarring, burns, and boils if the sap gets onto your skin and is exposed to sunlight. Don't let your kids pick or eat anything you aren't 100% sure of. My cousin walked through some tall grass behind her house when she was 11 and got burned by parsnips. She's in her 20s now and still has the scars on her legs from it. It's also the incident that inspired my username. Confined spaces, above ground or worse, below the surface. If you do urban exploration, caving, or anything like that, get a 4-gas detector, clip it to your chest or belt, and set the alarm to max. If it makes a sound, get the fuck out or you are going to die. To add to this, do not go in to rescue someone who has collapsed in a confined space. The number of times numerous people go in to rescue someone who has collapsed in a silo or something is crazy. This doesn't apply when you can unconfine it, right? E.g. someone doing something in their garage, but passing out because of inhaling too much of something. If someone opened the front to discover them, the flow of fresh air would usually be enough. Or am I misjudging this? As a maintenance man who found a dead guy today, huffing air duster. Don't do it, kids. Edit, I went to bed and this blew up a little. It's a little messed up cause dude was only 1 year younger than me and honestly a cool dude, definitely was not expecting that to happen to him, but, well, it happened because of decisions he made. For those concerned about my mental health, I appreciate the concern, so thank you. I'm alright. This is always a thing that can happen in my work, where you have 60 some odd people of various ages and temperaments all living in a place and you never know if one day 83-year-old Jenkins is gonna croak and you're gonna open it up and he's been there untouched for 2 weeks, or if you're gonna open a place for a concerned fiancé and find a dude clutching a can of duster. I just let concerned parties deal with their stuff and go about my own work. That's the best I can do. For those saying it's obviously dangerous, I may agree with you, but a lot of people don't realize how dangerous it is. My friends used to huff duster when we were out of pot when we were teenagers and it always scared the shit out of me, but they would always say stuff like, it's not like it's heroin, or whatever, to minimize concern. They were lucky they weren't this guy. He also had no idea he was gonna take that huff and that would be it for him until his fiancée found him 18 hours later.